If I told you some of the most influential figures who helped build Christianity from the ground up were women, would you believe me? Leaders, martyrs, trailblazing scholars, the founding mothers of the faith whose stories have been systematically deleted, suppressed, and forgotten to history until now. What you've been told about the origins and rise of the Christian church is just a fraction of the truth. Because for every famous apostle, bishop, and saint in the history books, there was just as often a defiant, overlooked woman lurking in their shadow. From the elite instructor who taught the teachers, to the martyr whose execution literally spread the religion like wildfire, to the first feminist theologians who helped construct the foundations of modern Christian doctrine from the rubble of the ancient world. Their stories were nearly lost forever. Silenced and erased by the religious patriarchy they sought to upend, these unsung mothers of the faith demanded to be heard then and now. So strap in, open your mind, and bear witness as we finally give these daughters, mothers, leaders, and martyrs of the early church their voice back. When this is over, your perception of how the most influential religion in world history began will never be the same. Hit that subscribe button and let's start righting this historic wrong. Right now, I'm passionate about uncovering the hidden stories of history that deserve more attention. On this channel, we explore fascinating topics that challenge conventional narratives. So if you're interested in learning more about the untold stories of history, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today, we're delving into the overlooked voices of women in the early Christian church, examining their roles, contributions, and lasting impacts. All right, let's dive in. When we think of the early Christian church, names like Peter, Paul, and Augustine often come to mind. But what about the women who stood alongside them, teaching, leading, and sacrificing for their faith? Let's explore some of these remarkable figures and their contributions. Number 1, the Apostolic Era. In the Apostolic Era, women played significant roles alongside the apostles. Mary Magdalene, often called the Apostle to the Apostles, was the first to witness the resurrection of Jesus and was commissioned to spread the news. Her pivotal role highlights the importance of women in the earliest days of Christianity. Then there's Priscilla, a missionary who, along with her husband Aquila, was a key figure in the early church. Priscilla is mentioned in the New Testament as a teacher who instructed Apollos, an influential preacher. Her example demonstrates that women were not only active, but also respected leaders and teachers in the early Christian communities. Number 2, patronage and leadership. We also see women as patrons and leaders, using their resources and influence to support the burgeoning Christian movement. Lydia of Thyatira, a successful businesswoman, is one such example. As a dealer in purple cloth, Lydia was a wealthy and influential figure. After converting to Christianity, she provided her home as a meeting place for believers, effectively founding one of the first house churches. Phoebe, another notable figure, was a deaconess of the church at Cenchreae. Paul commends her in his letter to the Romans, referring to her as a benefactor of many, including himself. Phoebe's role as a deaconess and patron underscores the significant leadership and support roles women held in the early church. Number 3, martyrdom and sainthood. The early church also witnessed the profound impact of women martyrs. Saints like Perpetua and Felicity, who were martyred in the early 3rd century, left a lasting legacy. Their stories, preserved in the Passion of Saints Perpetua and Felicity, highlight their courage and steadfast faith. Perpetua, a young noblewoman, and Felicity, her slave, faced persecution and death with unwavering conviction, inspiring countless Christians and earning them sainthood. Number 4, theological contributions. Women were also instrumental in theological discussions and doctrinal developments. Macrina the Younger, sister of Basil the Great, and Gregory of Nyssa, was a prominent theologian and monastic leader. She influenced her brother's theological works and was known for her deep spiritual insights and philosophical acumen. Her role exemplifies the intellectual contributions women made to early Christian thought. Number 5, monasticism and asceticism. In the development of monasticism, women were pioneers and leaders. Saint Syncletica of Alexandria, one of the Desert Mothers, led a monastic community, and her teachings on asceticism and spiritual life were highly regarded. Her sayings, preserved alongside those of the Desert Fathers, offer profound spiritual wisdom and guidance. Another key figure is Melania the Elder, a wealthy Roman matron who founded monastic communities in Jerusalem and the Mount of Olives. Her dedication to asceticism and charitable works set a standard for monastic living and left a lasting impact on Christian monasticism. Number 6, the spread of Christianity. Women played a crucial role in the spread of Christianity throughout the Roman Empire and beyond. Queen Helena, mother of Emperor Constantine the Great, is renowned for her pilgrimage to the Holy Land and her role in discovering important Christian relics, including what was believed to be the true cross. Her influence on her son helped to establish Christianity as a major religion within the Roman Empire. Eudocia, the wife of Emperor Theodosius II, also used her influence to promote Christianity. She was a patron of churches and monasteries, and her efforts significantly contributed to the spread and institutional support of the Christian faith. Number 7, women in councils and church administration. Women were not only participants, but also active contributors to church councils and administrative decisions. Although not always formally recognized, their influence was felt in the decisions and directions taken by these early gatherings. They often provided crucial support and guidance to the male leaders of the church, helping to shape its doctrinal and organizational foundations. Number 8, the legacy of women in the early church. The legacy of these women is profound. They laid the groundwork for future generations of female leaders within Christianity. Their stories, though often overshadowed, are beginning to receive the recognition they deserve. By understanding their contributions, we gain a fuller, richer picture of the early church and the diverse voices that helped to shape it. The internal politics of the Crusader states were a hotbed of power struggles and shifting alliances, revealing a complex web of motivations that extended far beyond religious devotion. These states, established in the wake of the First Crusade, included the Kingdom of Jerusalem, the Principality of Antioch, the County of Edessa, and the County of Tripoli. Each of these territories was governed by European nobles, who brought with them the feudal conflicts and ambitions of their homelands. The leaders of the Crusader states, such as King Baldwin IV of Jerusalem or Prince Bohemond of Antioch, frequently found themselves navigating a treacherous political landscape. Their primary goal was to maintain and expand their fragile foothold in the Levant. This often meant prioritizing pragmatic political interests over ideological purity. For example, Baldwin IV, despite being a leper king with a deeply religious persona, engaged in tactical alliances with Muslim leaders like Saladin when it served his purpose. These alliances were not born out of a shared religious belief, but rather a mutual understanding of political necessity and survival. In Antioch, Prince Bohemond faced internal dissent and external threats. His rule was characterized by strategic marriages and shifting alliances to secure his principality. The need to fortify and defend their territories led Crusader leaders to adopt a more flexible approach, forming temporary alliances with local Muslim rulers to counterbalance more immediate threats. This pragmatism often led to treaties and pacts that might seem paradoxical in the context of a holy war. The early Christian church was significantly influenced and shaped by the contributions of women. From leadership and patronage to theological insights and martyrdom, their roles were diverse and impactful. These overlooked voices remind us that the history of Christianity is incomplete without acknowledging the vital contributions of women. Speaking of pivotal events that shaped Christianity, our previous video explored the Martin Luther and the birth of Protestantism we know today. If you haven't watched it yet, you're missing out on an incredible journey through one of the most influential history of Martin Luther. Click the link in the description to uncover the fascinating story of how the books of the Bible were chosen and canonized. If you found this exploration into the overlooked voices of women in the early church enlightening, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with others who might be interested. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into fascinating historical topics. Let us know in the comments if there are other subjects you'd like us to cover. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.